Arturas Karnisovas said, quote, "We see what everyone is seeing and are just as frustrated. We're disappointed, but I'm not running from it. It's my responsibility." So, oh boy. I guess in a sense you could say that is the Bulls VP of basketball ops taking accountability for how horribly the beginning of this season has gone when he said, "Wait until free agency to tell me my plan sucks."
He did say that.
And then after free agency said, "Here's the plan. It's more of the same. But Javon and Torrey are here now. Aren't you convinced now?" And a lot of us said, "Not really, but let's see how this goes." And you're 5-13. I like a sliver of credit is how I feel about AK finally as a managerial person within this organization who does not like the press. And I'm not saying that accusatorily. I'm like, it's clear. Every time AK sits down in front of a microphone, you're like, oh, this guy hates talking to the public, doesn't like talking to the media. Yeah. And as fans, it can be frustrating to have a person in that seat of power who doesn't like talking to the media, who does not like answering questions when the questions are valid.
Yeah.
And I heard that quote from him today and thought, okay, you're not running away from it. It's your responsibility. Now what? And also simultaneously knowing and being frustrated by the fact that if the Bulls are, in fact, going to put this isn't working, but AK's not going to fire himself. We know ownership's not going to fire him, and they're not going to fire Billy. It's a personnel change. Yeah. Casey Johnson reported basically that in his column either early this morning or yesterday or last night. Like, we now have to wait. Bulls fans are forced to be in this holding pattern in a flight that is waiting for clearance from ground control to land because there is a December 15th hold on certain players being able to be traded, and there is a January 15th hold on other players and a larger pile of players who are not allowed to be traded. So it sounds like they admit that this isn't working. They're going to do something about it. He's taking responsibility for that. It's going to be a personnel change as opposed to a coaching change or a front office change, and we just have to sit here and wait until that happens. Yeah. And I'm sorry, as a Bulls fan, that's bullshit. That's not fair. Like, I understand that that's the holding pattern we're in right now, but it makes me feel 0% better. Yeah. Because they should have done it a long freaking time ago.
Yeah. I want to say this, and honestly, I really want to hear what Will has to say about this. I'll give him credit for, like you said, accepting responsibility. You know what I mean? It's my fault. It's on me, blah, blah, blah. All right, great. I appreciate all that. Here's what I don't like about it. One, you did it on the road. You weren't even at the crib when you did it. You did it in a whole nother city and said all this. Why don't you're supposed to do this at home? This is Chicago, bro. We stand on stuff here. You should do it here and say those things. When you do stuff like that, it reminds me of old regimes. When you do these kind of things, all right? That's one thing. Two, as I tell Matt all the time, saying ain't like doing. You can talk it all you want to. Oh, man, it's my fault. I messed up and this and that. Great. Wonderful. What are you doing to change it? Because it needs to change right now. Like Matt said, we got to sit here twiddling our thumbs, sitting here waiting to find out exactly what is going to happen now, because there still hasn't been a plan laid out about how you're going to fix this. All I've heard is we messed up. That's it. That's all I know right now.
Whoopsie.
Whoops. My bad. Hey, look at me, Jerry. Look at me. I owe you one. That's all I heard. That's all I heard right now, all right? So I need to see the action. I need to see it in motion. What are you going to do? How many more embarrassing losses do you need to have? Because the schedules could honestly be full of them. And these next 8 games could really be full of some truly embarrassing losses. So some things have to change. I don't like the fact you did it outside of Chicago, and I don't like the fact that it's just words and there hasn't been action behind it. And I know it just happened today. I get it. But there hasn't been action from the moment we were talking about this, right? That's a lot of the things we upset about out here. So that stuff needs to change, and those things need to happen, dog. And those are the things I don't like about it. I honestly want to hear from you, though.
No, I think those are valid points. To me, I don't really see the value of doing this at all, because they are in a holding pattern until basically the trade deadline. I mean, I think Bobby Marks just tweeted 88% of players can be traded after December 15th. 94% of players can be traded after January 15th. Teams right now, even like the teams that in theory are going to be interested in Zach, aren't ready to pull the trigger on that kind of move, even if they could trade the players on their team to match salaries, because they're still trying to figure out who they are. The Bulls, unlike most teams in the league right now, they know who they are. And so they're waiting for everybody else to catch up.
For better or worse, yeah.
They have to.
I'm a bag of trash, and I know it.
And to me, that's why, like, even saying anything kind of doesn't really matter. I mean, first of all, I don't really... What does this even mean? We see what everyone else is seeing. We're just as frustrated. Okay. We're disappointed, but I'm not running from it. I don't know what that means. I'm not sure what that means. It is my responsibility. Basically, to me, what this says is the team has been bad, and the job description is like, and acknowledging that there is a job description and that he has to accomplish the goals of his job. These are the things that I'm supposed to do as executive vice president of basketball operations, and I know that those are my responsibilities. And we don't know what his actual responsibilities are, right? I mean, there's like the whole the ownership only wants to, only cares about putting butts in seats. There's that whole conspiracy theory. Whether or not that's true, I have no idea. Maybe they really want to win a title this year. Maybe they feel like they can go south and tank and get a good draft pick. We don't know what the direction is going to be, and we can't know. I mean, he's not going to come out and say, this is my 8-step plan of how we're going to get this organization back on track here. We're going to first go to the bottom. We're going to trade off our guys and get draft picks. Like, he's not saying that because, one, I don't think there's nothing he can do right now. And even if he could do that right now, I'm not sure he has picked a choice yet. And so maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but we don't. There's no way that we can know. And he's certainly not going to publicly state his plan. So to me, it's like I don't understand what the point of saying this is. To your point, he didn't even it wasn't a statement that came from him. It was through reporters. The reporters gave it in Boston. To me, I would have skipped it. I just wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, I am fully in agreement with that. Like, what was the point? What was the purpose? What was the end goal of giving this?
The only thing it acknowledges is that the record is 5-13.
Right.
Like, we see we're bad.
Right.
Yeah, we get it.
And also, I have a job, and that job is executive vice president of basketball operations, and that comes along with the responsibilities.
According to reports, that job is safe, and I know that job is safe. So I can come out here and give you guys a 2-cent quote to maybe put the fan base and put the media at ease for a minute while we, find our reins buried in the dirt somewhere. And try to get a hold on this again. But really all it does is, I think it's counterproductive from his point of view if what he was trying to do was, just kind of put a pause on all of this pressure coming in from the media, from the fan base, totally unimpressed and enraged by this 5-14 start when speaking but really not saying much of anything. All it does is make us matter.
We all silly like the mayor.